Welcome back to another Rust base tour. This is my base on Lone Wolf solo server. It's a vanilla server. It's the best solo server out there. They do have strict rules that are enforced through technology. So if you do play here, make sure to read up on the rules so you don't accidentally violate them. But here's my base for the wipe. My base's wipe is essentially a used car operation called Benjamin's RV World. I've been harboring all the cars this wipe on the server and selling them for high quality metal, and it's been super duper lucrative. You can see my billboard up there. It's actually backlit with the industrial lights, the white industrial lights, so it's super duper bright at night, even though it's the wooden signs. I have a compound this wipe, which is unusual. I don't usually have compounds in Rust, but I was just feeling it this wipe, you know? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Yes, all of these boxes are filled with loot. I'm at that stage of the wipe where the floor is now boxes. Bless you, wifey. This is actually my main external TC right here, and it extends all the way over to the main base, which is a 2x2 right here. So this is my main base. I was offline on day 3 of the wipe. They failed. They failed because I'm using pixel gaps. This is a new design that I have for this wipe. I've never used a main base that had pixel gaps like this before, but it's really strong. I keep, you know, my loot in the 3 pixel gaps. I'm actually going to make a video about how to make this base because it's just really, really good. There's another one through that window there, then there's a third one through that window there. So the cool thing about these pixel gaps is people don't suspect them because they can't see them. So whenever you seal it up at night, I mean, obviously it would be very, very difficult for an enemy to know that there's a pixel gap back there. And I was offline on day 3 of the wipe, and they failed. They got everything in these boxes, but it didn't matter because only 5% of my loot was in there, so... And they also couldn't find the TC. The TC is behind a vending machine using the Game Lights vending machine exploit. So there's a armored door there, and the TC is right back there. Upkeep's getting a little nasty, but really, really, let's just say that I've accumulated some wealth for this wipe, so it's not a big deal. Got the auto turrets behind 2 layers of fencing, so they can shoot out, but people have a hard time shooting in. I have to have room to harbor all of the cars for Benjamin's RV World, so I built a ramp, and whenever I saw a car on the server, I just brought it home. At one point, I wanted to record this earlier, but I wasn't done with the base yet. I'm essentially done with it now. But at one point in the wipe, I had 17 cars crammed into this compound, and probably 12 of them were up here. So even cars that weren't on the lifts were up here. There's just nowhere else to put them, so I stuck them up here and just repaired them every day. It didn't take that much to keep them repaired. And then finally, I started selling them off. I was able to sell the 3 mod RVs for 100 high quality each, and I sell the 2 slot ones for 50 high quality, and they come code locked with tier 3 parts. And the server's been, I mean, probably a little aggravated that they can't find cars because I have most of them, but whenever someone joins the server and they need a car to farm safely with, and I'm selling them a car that's code locked already with tier 3 parts, it's actually they're willing to pay for the convenience of that. I've been hit by the missile truck 5 times this wipe. 5 times, and I have 3 SAM sites. And the SAM before I got hit once before I got the SAM sites, and then 4 times after that, but the SAM sites prevented any damage the last 4 times. So my brother Jeremy has a base this wipe on the same server, and his base has a canopy over it. It's like a big warehouse with a canopy over it using the floor grills, and it gave me the idea of having a compound that has floor grills over the whole thing. So that's where I got the idea from that. All the credit goes to him. This is actually my starter base. This is a little 2x1. That was the initial starter base. So my TC was in here. This 2x1 was what started this entire compound. I have a shop here, which has been extremely successful this wipe. The server I play on, Lone Wolf, has a Discord plugin that tracks your sales, and I have something like 50 or 60 or 70 sales from the vending machine. So it's selling things like sewing kits, sulfur, workbenches, just anything that people need, and it's been super duper lucrative. You can see my windmill towers go pretty high. One thing cool about my windmill towers that I haven't did before is, you see the industrial pipes leading up? So industrial pipes go all the way to the top because the TCs for these windmills are actually at the top. So in here is just, you know, the battery. But because these buildings are so close together, I had to build up in order to be able to put a new TC down on that. I wanted to keep the building nice, the upkeep low, so the building tax low, so I created new structures, and I just built it up, and there's actually a TCs are at the very top, and the industrial pipes go up and refill it every day. Yes, it was difficult to say the least to to get the pipes up there, but it was worth it in the end now that I don't have to upkeep them. You see the pipes going all the way from here back to the main base. You see it going up that way, and then it goes all the way up there too. But I actually have every external TC in the compound. There's 4 or 5 of them. They all link to my main base, and they all link to specifically, you see this red pipe here? This red pipe feeds all the external TCs in the entire compound from this large box. So as long as I keep high quality metal, stone, and wood in here, then it automatically takes from here to keep 1 day upkeep and all the external TCs, which is really nice. The wipe's not done yet, so I'm not going to show all the secrets of this base, but I'm utilizing a number of secrets that I've shown in my other videos. So if you want to know how to make a base that's 150 rockets strong, which yes, my main base is my base this wipe is 150 rockets to get all of main loot, check out my other videos. I go into depth about all the different tricks and misdirection that you can use to keep raiders scratching their heads as to what's going on here. This is my windmill tower. Something strange kept happening. I had a 4th wind turbine over here, but every time the server rebooted, the stability would mess up and it would fall off. Even though the stability here is totally fine, it's like 30%, but for some reason it just kept falling off upon server reboot, so I finally just moved it over there. You can see that everybody rides at Benjamin's RV World. We have 0% APR, no credit, no problem. There's actually a local RV store near my house. It's called Bill Plemons RV World, and that's where I got the moniker from. It's been there for as long as I can remember. There's a bunker in there. See the drop boxes? There's a metal bunker here. There's also 2 bunkers in the back. Check these puppies out back here. These are armored, so actually... Ooh, and they're decaying. I'm glad I'm making this video now. So these are decaying, but they're armored bunkers. They're 1x1s, and you know there's 4 larger boxes in each of these. You can't splash them with C4 rockets, so you know here's 30 plus rockets. You know 30 rockets minimum to get anything out of these 2 bunkers. And then there's you know multiple bunkers around the compound, sheet metal bunkers around the compound as well. Not to mention, like, the actual base. The actual base where if you wanted to get the stuff from it, you'd have to raid it. You know, there's no telling what's going on in this, this garage that I have here. This is what makes bases like this strong is... And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, like, Alone in Tokyo's videos. He's probably my favorite YouTuber. His videos are just delicious. But... And I know that I know that we have different philosophies to play Rust. Like, he wants to get raided, he wants the PvP and stuff like that, but if he were to just not keep all of his main loot in the core of his base, then they wouldn't succeed. Even if those clans brought how many rockets over to blow up his base, if he didn't put his main loot in the core of the base, they wouldn't get it. Just separate it out, put it everywhere, scattered all over the place. Put it in different parts of your base, put it in external TCs, put it in, you know, in anything to make it so that if they're gonna blow into the main, they won't get what they're looking for, or they'll only get part of it. It's really, really powerful stuff, and whenever you have a base like this, where it's like, where do you even start? Those are the powerful bases in Rust, the ones that make the enemy say, where do we even start? Where do we go to get this guy's main loot? And the answer is nowhere. There is nowhere that you can go to get my main loot because there is no main loot area. So it's just keep that in mind whenever you're designing bases in Rust. I've spent a lot of time in this wipe in cars, using my RVs to farm and transfer loot, and it's just like last wipe, it's really changed the way that I play the game. I think I'm going to make a video on just how powerful cars are in Rust, and I know people are going to say, but you can blow them up so easily, all it takes is 40 bullets or whatever to blow up the cabin, but, or, you know, 3 HV rockets and that thing's gone, those cars suck, blah, 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 but you can't think of it like that. It's more of the amount of protection and risk reduction that you get for the cost. And it's, you know, let's say you're farming the road, whether you're farming barrels on the road and road signs and stuff. Would you rather be completely defenseless while you're doing that, or would you rather have a mobile base to put your loot in while you're doing it? And sure, you know, somebody might kill you and start hatcheting the car and so on and so forth, but it gives you more protection than you would have had, I guess is the point. Also, you have to take into account, what are the chances of someone roaming with a rocket launcher with HVs? What's the chance of someone that knows that you can break the cab easily with, you know, 40 bullets? Wait, not to mention if you have an RV, you have to respawn in the RV. You can respawn in the RV and drive off while they're shooting it or while they're hatcheting it. The cars aren't perfect, but if done correctly, it provides a tremendous amount of protection and value for how much they cost to get up and running. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for the base tour this wipe. I really appreciate y'all watching, and remember, if you haven't subscribed, I'm gonna leave some time here for you to subscribe. No credit, no problem.